All right, let's stretch those brains a bit today. We're taking a deep dive into something you might not expect, the surprisingly complex world of daily stretching. You sent us some really interesting articles from Real Simple, Greatest, and Signos.
Sounds like someone's hoping to feel a little less like the Tin Man after a long day at their desk, huh?
Maybe. I have to admit, I always thought of stretching as something you just do before a workout.
Right. Yeah.
But Real Simple pointed out something that really made me think.
Okay.
It said that even our pets, cats, dogs, they all seem to know instinctively that stretching is good for them. Like they do it all the time.
Yeah. If our furry friends are onto something, maybe we should be paying attention, right? All three of the articles you sent actually emphasize that making stretching a daily habit can have huge benefits. Not just for your body, but for your mind too.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that. I mean, I knew flexibility was important, but Greatest even suggested that stretching can help with things like relieving headaches
Hmm.
and calming your nervous system.
Exactly. Who wouldn't want a little bit of that these days?
Seriously. Okay, so we're talking stress relief, fewer headaches. What other benefits are we missing out on by not stretching regularly?
Well, all three articles agree that increased flexibility and a better range of motion are almost guaranteed. Think about like reaching for that top shelf,
Yeah.
or bending down to tie your shoes.
Right.
So much easier with good flexibility. But it's not just about that. Stretching can also improve your posture. It can reduce pain. It can even lower your risk of getting injured.
Signos actually talked about how crucial general mobility is for everyone, not just athletes.
It's true. They call it the foundation of healthy movement.
Right.
And that applies whether you're training for a marathon or just trying to get through your day with a little less stiffness and pain.
Okay, you've convinced me. Stretching is officially good for you. But these articles are packed with all sorts of different stretches. I mean, where do we even begin?
Well, why don't we pick a few examples that showcase the variety and target different needs? A little something for everyone.
Perfect. I've got my eye on this open book stretch in Real Simple. It sounds kind of whimsical, and I like that you do it lying down, which sounds perfect for someone who's, well, let's just say, not exactly a yoga master yet.
Huh. That's a great choice. Real Simple points out that it's a fantastic way to increase spinal mobility and improve posture.
That makes sense.
And think about it, when you're feeling that afternoon slump at work, maybe it's not just caffeine you need. Maybe your spine needs to open up and release some tension.
I like that. Okay, now what about something for those of us who are like practically glued to our desks all day?
Well, Greatest recommends the Figure 4 stretch, also known as the supine pigeon. It's a great way to release tight hips, which is a super common issue for people who sit a lot.
Oh, yeah. Tight hips, this actually reminds me, Real Simple mentioned something about stretching being beneficial for people with knee pain, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Greatest points out that tight hips can actually contribute to knee problems, so
Mm.
the Figure 4 could be a win-win.
Yep,
Yeah.
double win. All right, we've got a spine stretch and a hip stretch. Now let's talk office-friendly stretches. I saw this chest stretch indoor in Signos that seems perfect for a quick break.
Oh, that's a good one. Imagine you're standing in a doorway, arms outstretched, like you're about to give someone a big hug,
Okay, yeah.
and you feel that gentle pull in your chest and shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
That's the chest stretch indoor.
Mm.
Sigos mentions it specifically targets the pecs and biceps.
Which makes sense. Those get so tight from sitting at a desk.
Exactly.
See, this is why I love these deep dives. You find all these practical tips.
Absolutely.
But something else that stood out to me in Signos was how they talked about stretching as a form of meditation. It's like about connecting with your breath and being more aware of your body.
That's a great point, and it actually goes back to what Real Simple and Greatest were saying about stress relief, too. It's not just about the physical release of tension. It's also about, like, creating a mental shift. It's about mindfulness.
So maybe choosing stretches can be kind of like choosing how you want to de-stress. Like, do you want a calming cup of tea or a few minutes of mindful stretching?
Exactly. It's all about finding what feels good for you.
Okay, so far we've talked about opening up the spine, releasing tight hips, and even finding some moments of calm amidst the chaos.
It really is amazing, like, how just a few simple stretches can target all those different parts of the body and how much of a difference it can make in, how you feel overall.
Totally. What else is catching your eye in those articles? I'm curious to hear more.
Okay.
I'm looking at this cat-cow stretch that Real Simple mentions. It sounds a little more active than the other ones we talked about.
You're right. Cat-cow is what's called a dynamic stretch. So it involves some gentle movement. flowing between two poses that help to kind of warm up the spine
Mhm.
and improve posture.
Hmm.
It's a little bit like, imagine a gentle wave like moving through your back.
Oh, okay. That actually sounds really
Yeah,
nice.
it feels good. It's a great way to wake up the body, get the energy
It's
flowing.
like a mini massage for your spine.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, now you're talking my language. Mini massages. Love it. But, speaking of feeling good, are there any stretches that can help with that, that dreaded computer hunch that I think we all have these days?
Absolutely. Syneos recommends a seated back twist that you can actually do right at your desk.
Oh, perfect.
All about like mobilizing the spine and counteracting those hours that we spend, hunched over our screens.
Okay, I'm adding that one to my to-do list for sure. It's like they design these stretches with like our modern lives in mind.
It really is. It's remarkable how these stretches can address the specific strains of our daily routines.
It's interesting reading through these articles. I'm struck by how personalized stretching can be. It's not just about like how far you can stretch. It's about finding what feels good for your body.
Yeah, that's such a great point. And I think it's something that often gets lost in the fitness world in general. We can get so focused on pushing ourselves to the limit, right? That we forget to just listen to our bodies.
Yeah.
Stretching is a great reminder to slow down, tune in, be present in the moment.
It's almost like a form of self-care.
Absolutely. And remember, Sidious talked about how for some people, stretching can actually be a form of meditation.
Right,
It's
right,
about connecting with your breath,
right.
releasing tension, just being in your body.
So we've talked about warming up the spine. We talked about combating that computer slump, even the meditative aspects of stretch.
Oh, and don't forget those tight hips.
Oh, right.
Greatest includes a kneeling hip flexor stretch.
Hmm.
That might be just what you need to really loosen up those muscles. Remember, tight hips can impact everything,
Yeah.
from how you walk to how you sleep.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely feeling that one already. So I guess it's not just about touching your toes.
No, not at all. It's about finding the right stretches for your body's needs,
Yeah.
and taking care of those kind of often neglected muscles.
Right.
And don't be afraid to use props. Signos even mentioned using like blocks and straps to make stretches more comfortable and effective.
Okay, now you're really talking my language. I love a good yoga block. Makes me feel like a pro.
Huh. They can be a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
They help you get deeper into a stretch while maintaining proper alignment, so you're getting the most benefit without risking injury.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, before we go any further down this rabbit hole of stretching props, let's talk about a pose that, well, it seems to be like a classic for a reason. Child's pose. All three articles recommend this one.
Oh yeah, child's pose. It's a classic. It's gentle, it's restorative, it can be so calming for both your body and the mind. It's a great one to do at the end of a stretching routine, or really anytime you need a moment of relaxation.
So it's like the reward at the end of a good stretch session, like the cherry on top.
Exactly, exactly. A
Yeah.
little moment of self-care, just a reminder to be present in your body.
I'm sensing a theme here. It seems like stretching is about so much more than just flexibility.
Right.
It's about mindfulness, it's about stress relief, self-care.
You're getting it. It's about approaching your body with kindness and finding ways to move that feel good, that nourish your overall well-being.
So it's not just about like achieving some arbitrary level of flexibility or contorting yourself into a pretzel.
Right.
It's about creating a healthy relationship with your body through movement.
That's beautifully said. And I think that's something that's really resonating with people these days, We're all so busy, we're so stressed.
Yeah.
And stretching offers this simple yet powerful way to just reconnect with ourselves and find a sense of calm amidst all that chaos.
Okay, I think we've officially covered the why of stretching. Now let's dive into maybe some more specific examples.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm flipping through this greatest article, and they have this stretch called the low lunge to half splits. It sounds kind of intense, like something only super flexible people can do.
It can be challenging, yeah.
Yeah.
But like we were saying before, stretching is all about meeting your body where it's at. And what I find really fascinating about this particular stretch is that it targets so many muscle groups at once.
Oh.
You're working your hip flexors, hamstrings, calves, even your glutes.
So it's like a full leg workout disguised as a stretch.
Kind of.
Love it. Efficiency is key. But speaking of things I need to stretch, I spend a lot of time at my desk. The usual computer hunch situation.
Right.
Are there any stretches that can help with that, you think?
Definitely. Signos recommends the seated back twist. It's really fantastic for mobilizing the spine and counteracting the effects of sitting for so long.
Okay, adding that to my list. I'm always on the lookout for stretches that kind of feel like a mini massage, those ones that just melt away tension.
It seems like real simple read your mind because they recommend the prone chest opener. It's a pretty gentle stretch, targets your chest and shoulders, can feel incredibly relaxing.
Ooh, nice. I might have to try that one right after we finish recording this, actually.
Ah,
Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier, the mental benefits of stretching.
mhm,
Greatest was talking about how it can actually help regulate your nervous system and reduce stress.
absolutely. When we stretch, we're basically like sending signals to our brain to calm down.
Right.
It's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system. And when we reduce stress, we reduce the production of cortisol, which is a hormone that, well, it can have some not so great effects on our bodies.
So it's not just about feeling good in the moment, it's about like a whole ripple effect of positive changes.
Exactly. The more we stretch, the more we reinforce those positive pathways in our brains, making it easier to manage stress and cultivate a sense of calm. It's like building resilience from the inside out.
I love that. I'm learning so much from this deep dive. Real Simple had this great suggestion. Instead of thinking about stretching as something you have to do, think of it as something you get to do for your well-being.
Yeah, I love that shift in perspective.
It's powerful, right? It turns a chore into an act of self-care.
For sure.
Well, I think we've officially stretched our brains enough for one day.
I think so too.
We covered a lot of ground, from increasing our flexibility and mobility to, finding those little moments of calm and even improving our mental well-being.
It's amazing how much we can benefit from something as simple as stretching, right?
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that taking care of ourselves doesn't have to be complicated. And for those of you listening, if you want to explore even more stretches and tips, be sure to check out the full articles from Real Simple, Greatest, and Signos.
Happy stretching, everyone.